Hi guys! We have a very, very abundant reading for this after Lionsgate energy. I know it's been quite a few days. It's been a few weeks since Lionsgate portal. And so this is just kind of like an update from what we're entering into this new cycle, this new dimension, this new portal, whatever you can resonate with, whatever you resonate with. We're entering this very abundant season, and it's very important to recognize this cycle and what it truly means to be within this cycle and how to uphold this cycle, because there's some key components here. The first card, this is such a funny reading, I love this reading. The first card that we pulled here was the Moon card. So really being in tune with your intuition, tapping back into your roots, but also understanding like your spiritual roots, but understanding the truth and alignment of using discernment in intuitive guidance, because we can get caught up in emotions, we can get caught up in projections of reality, and that can thwart our perception of what is reality. So making sure that we're really in tune with our intuition, and that we get validation from multiple sources if any message comes through unclear, or there's any uncertainty or doubt, just to kind of confirm the energy so we're not making loose judgment here. And this will actually help you through this cycle because it's super important. It's extremely essential when using intuitive guidance, whether you're doing that for yourself or for others. So going into this next card, we have here the lovely Ten of Pentacles. Sorry, did I say 10? I did. 9 of Pentacles, sorry. Really accepting your abundance and basking in the fruits of your labor, and respecting that gratitude within this abundance, and understanding that you did earn this. This is your right. This is something that it wasn't just given to you. It was it took a lot of shadow work, it took a lot of inner healing, and it took a lot of real true inner guidance, and a lot of these things don't come easily. So understand that this is going to be a very abundant season. This is going to be a very abundant chapter and cycle for you, but recycle this energy. I said this in my last reading too. This is very important. So we're standing here at the Four of Wands, and it's you see these two people. They're both here with the abundance. They're both here enjoying this beautiful moment, this energy of abundance. So giving back to your community, giving back to the people who have supported you and who have guided you or help uplifted you, or just people around you within your community. Giving back to that community will really help you blossom and flourish, and understanding that cycle of energy, that recycling of energy as well. So we're putting intent into the universe, and in turn that intent will come mirrored back to us. So when we come through with pure intentions and we do give back, we do pay our respects to the world, the universe around us, and have true gratitude for our experiences and what we earn and are given, then we can really see the true value of our work and of this process and of this cycle. Very important. And then again, so working hard coming into these new opportunities, because there will be a lot of opportunity here for growth, expansion, trying new things. So hardworking, sticking to this cycle, sticking to understanding your goals, your aim, organizing a system for yourself. See how he has like this nice little setup, like he has these pentacles he's working on, and he's like kind of like either slabbed them up on the tree, or he's got like a cycle. He's working through this, and he's organized, his energy is focused, he's got like some ruggage, I think. No, that's just an apron. Yeah, so he's got like a nice system, he's got protocol, he's in it to win it, he knows what he's doing, he's focusing his energy, he's prioritizing. So it's very important with this. I know that it sounds pretty generic, but it's super essential to obtain this reoccurring cycle. So if you want to obtain and purify and uphold this energy, it's really important to maintain this cycle, because this cycle will it helps pour water back into the cup. And you'll see that in a lot of things. Like, okay, say take this as an extreme example. Like when you see somebody giving back to the community, when they're like buying things for random strangers, based off of like whether they're following or liking, or if they're just giving back to people around them, and just feeding the homeless or whatever it is, and say that gives them more following, and it helps produce more of that food and more of that material, the tools and resources to give back. So it kind of like feeds itself. It's like the serpent eating itself. So, and the serpent eating itself is not a negative. It's a symbolism of cycles. So it's important to understand what a cycle truly means and why this cycle of energy operates the way that it does. So this was the last card that we pulled here, was from our Star Codes Astro Oracle deck. So it's a nice oracle card. So again, following this is the first card we pulled, the Moon. And now we have the last card that we pulled here, was the Moon, Perception. So again, tapping into your perception, making sure you're in tune with your perception, you're using discernment, but you're being truthful to yourself and your own intuition. You're not misguiding your intuition through projection of false realities, and you're allowing yourself to understand the energy around you and things that you may be unaware of, things that happen in the shadows or behind the curtains. So using your better judgment, your better perception, being in tune with the cycles of energy, the cycles of astrology, the cycles of the moon in particular. The moon has so much effect on us, dude. You have no idea. Follow these things, follow these cycles, and it will help you prepare mentally, physically, and emotionally for what's to come, and will help you again feed into this cycle, this generous abundant cycle. So will help uphold that energy, help it grow and flourish. And with that being said, we're going to pull one card from the Pleasure Oracle deck, and we're just going to see a little bit of guidance on where we can go with this energy. We've all read that romance poets, this is kind of like a romantic oracle deck, but it has a lot more focus on pleasure itself, so you can use a lot of the romantic or sensual or sexual metaphors as metaphors, the sexual references as metaphors, so you can kind of transmute it into other energy and other ways to understand it. It may sound complicated, but like other, like, there's food that gives you orgasms, so like use that as a perception. So we've all read that romance poets and heard the breakup songs. Love is a drug, and it's usually infatuation, a fixation, a desperate longing, a fever dream, both anguished and sweet. It's a spell we hope never breaks, yet break it we must if we're ever going to uncover a sustainable relationship under the rubble of romantic self-wreckage. So not romanticizing this lifestyle is very important too, because you want to uphold this true energy and uphold this abundance to your own reality, because abundance is very different for different people. However, generally there's this general concept of abundance, but there's there's different identities for abundance that individuals hold. And so it's important to not romanticize this lifestyle. It's important not to romanticize what could be and what currently is as well. But this is important, because when we're falling under this spell or this idea of what something is, it's actually a manipulation within ourselves, but also within other people. So we are holding this value, this false value of this reality. And so when we start to and you know, okay, so this is a silly example, I know, but I was watching this interview with Russ. Yes, I listen to Russ, very, very popular rapper, and yes, I love his music. But okay, so the point he made was he had this romantic idea of what this money would bring him in his life, and that it essentially would create value within himself, having this external value. And so he had this falsehood within himself that all of this glitz, this glam, all of the money would bring him inner happiness and inner peace. So he actually pushed off getting a therapist for years throughout his fame, and then I think in recent years got a therapist, and you know, is actually working on his mental health and recovering, and he's an advocate for mental health within men. And you know, it's just something you should really think about when celebrities go around telling you that, you know, that the fame is toxic. It has a lot of implications attached to it. It's not to say that, you know, you can't be popular and have like a bunch of following and still be healthy mentally and, you know, flourish, but it is a perception that we have on Hollywood and celebrities, famedom, money, and materialism, that, you know, these things will bring us happiness and inner soul fulfillment, and that's not the truth. And that's why we go through this process of shadow work, to try to find what true inner soul fulfillment is, because it's a very complicated and very intricate idea. And know that it's not purity, it's not a pure concept that you're going to find pure happiness in, you know, this like ultimate timeline of pure joy, although there are lots of ways to really accomplish that. It's all perception based. But my point is we're having this concept or this attachment to wanting this reality is going to create this falsehood within ourselves, and so our expectations will never be met. And so that's where the toxicity actually stimulates from. It's not from the ungratefulness of whatever you've received materialistically. It's more so of the toxic expectations that we create around this reality. And when we actually step into this reality, we're still stuck with the narratives that play out in our own minds. And we're also still stuck with the baggage that we had from our childhood traumas, all of it. Like, it's still there, so it can't be replaced with material objects. That is like the key point here. There's a lot more tied into that too, but I wanted to go on a little tangent, I'm sorry. But yes, okay, so falling under another spell, but like dancing with fairies, if you stay too long in that trance state, you may never come back. So you'll be in this trance state. Yes, it will feel really great in the highs, but when you hit the lows, they will be unavoidable, and they will be very, very complicated. They will be very emotionally damaging. You will have these falling outs where you don't feel like you can come back from. So that's what we're trying to avoid. And that's not to scare you, it's not to make you anxious, it's just to say that, you know, you can be taken advantage of by yourself. So don't do that to yourself. It's very important to understand that. So it's complicated at first to understand it, but when you try to really stand into spiritualism, gratitude, and finding real fulfillment within yourself, then you'll really start to understand those concepts and why celebrities are coming through and, you know, talking about all of this. I'm just saying, now that I'm over that tangent, you know, it's very important to realize when we're going into this next chapter, because, you know, if we're going to be here accepting the abundance, we're going to be, you know, flourishing in the abundance, we have to understand all the strings that are involved and all the things that we can cut out that don't have to be strings. I'm just saying, like, don't lose yourself entirely in another, instead of further retressing your own empowerment. Like, stand firm. No one gets more of your time and energy than you do. So use that time and energy wisely to uphold this energy and to focus on your goals and focus on inner happiness and focusing on feeding the shadow and feeding the light in this pure balance. So again, I know that there's no freaking thing like purity, but there's purity and balance, and balance isn't this like instruction toolkit of all of the things that you need to do in order to receive this like fulfillment. It's not. It's a lot different. It has a lot more awareness involved of your emotional state, of your physical state, and your current emotions and current reality. So being aware is the first step. So going through all of this awareness, all of this shadow work, and being aware of the shadow itself, and being aware of all of these key elements of spiritualism and healing is where this part of you starts to open and transition and transmute a lot of this energy into understanding versus victimhood. So it's not to say that, you know, there's any falsities in what has happened to you in the past, and I'm sure you don't need that explanation, but just to say, it's more so of we can utilize this knowledge to not necessarily be leaders, but to be guiders in this new reality that we're transmuting and entering. So it's important to understand that and have people who, a mass majority of people who understand that and can communicate and transmute that energy into a better understanding for the masses. So now, I know that seems really huge, and it seems like, whew, that's a lot to hold on to and process, but don't worry about it, because it's all going to make really a lot of sense here in the coming years, why you went through this process, where you're going through in this process, and it's all going to connect, it's all going to make sense. So don't worry about the details, just worry about the process, and stick into what you need to do, which is all aiming towards back to your soul fulfillment. So just aim towards that. Aim towards, you know, being true to your spiritual reality, using discernment, using metaphors to help guide your intuition is super essential too, because it can actually help you transmute a lot of the other emotional baggage that transpires with all of these things going on in the universe. The world is getting crazy, let's be real, but it's going crazy because of the mass awakening and the mass awareness. So it's going to shift in a way where it's like, wow, there's so much going on. I don't even like, you're going to be overstimulated in a lot of ways, but don't let that overstimulation like get to you. I don't think that it honestly will. It's going to help awaken your awareness of reality and its vastness. So just utilize that as an awakening, even though you may have already had several awakenings already. Just utilize it as an awakening to the next step, because there was a lot of other shadows that we did transmute, and you may not be aware of it now, but you're going to be aware of it here soon, all of the things that you did transmute and turned into other energies. So whew, yeah, it's been a wild ride. 2023 is a big year. There's a lot happening, and there's going to be a lot of changes here coming in. Just be aware. Don't take any of like the craziness too personal or too emotional, I should say, because there are going to be a lot of things happening, but there are going to be a lot of things within this cycle changing too. So just because it seems like there's a lot happening, I mean, doesn't necessarily mean that there's not, but there are also a lot of things changing. So just remember this: energy cannot be created nor destroyed, it can only be transmuted. So it's being transmuted currently, and so that's why things seem a lot crazier than they really are. So just stay in tune with your own current reality. Everything that's in your energy space is calm, and that's what you need to focus on. If there's any chaos going outside of that energy, that has nothing to do with what's going on in your current timeline. So don't emotionally concern yourself, physically concern yourself, of course, because we can still contribute and help, but the point is it's not something that's going to be as devastating as it may. Maybe that's not the right way. Okay, so it's going to be something that we're going to have to process and heal from, but sticking to the emotional aspects of it are going to get us stuck. So don't be stuck in the emotional aspects of it. Use it as growth, use it as a focus and an aim to heal and help others. I know that that may seem bleak or double-edged, maybe, but it's important to understand that, when things are changing, things are collapsing, things need to have some strength attached to it. So be that strength, be that anchor for other people, be that anchor, so you can help uphold and uplift and help regrow the communities and the things that are changing and evolving, because there's going to be a lot happening really soon. This Lionsgate portal was a huge shift. We had quite a few like last year too, and the year before that, but this is a huge shift. I just cannot. It's going to be interesting. But yeah, use discernment in these next 2 years. Prepare yourself emotionally. Focus on yourself and the energy around you. Growth. Getting back to your roots. Sticking to spiritualism and finding that way to recycle the energy within your own community. So whether that be like community gardening, building like something community related is going to be really essential in these next coming years, because there's going to be a lot of healing that's going to be required in the community, because there's going to be a lot of change and shifts in our in a lot of ways. I'm just gonna leave it there. In a lot of ways, there's gonna be a lot of change. I know that it's fake, but it's not to be concerned about all the changes that are going to happen. That's not the focus of this video. I just want to, because I'm not trying to, I just feel like I'm trying to, I don't want to feed into the fear. That's what I'm trying to say here. So I don't want anybody to be anxious or worried or concerned about what's going to change. Just know that it is, and that is just an essential part of the serpent eating itself. Like, that is just life cycle, bro. Like, I know that it's, but I'm sure a lot of you, majority, probably like 99.9% of you understand that. I'm just trying to say this like with full intent and full energy, that so you understand like why this cycle is really important to stick to and focus on. Prioritize this cycle versus all of the other energy that is transmuting itself. Understand that it's transmuting itself and focus on this energy right here, which is you. That's all. I love you. I hope this message resonates in a very pure way, but a very understanding and very transmuting way, so you can process all of this and in a way that doesn't make you anxious, it doesn't make you worried, it doesn't make you concerned, or have any amplified energy at all. It is a very calm reading. I'm just gonna put that out there. It's a very calm reading. It's just to be preparing you for this new cycle and all of the stuff that's going on in the background too, because there's always gonna be stuff going on in the background. So stick to this and you won't have to worry about anything else. I love you guys. I hope you enjoyed today's reading. If you did, please hit that like and subscribe button and share this video with your friends and family, because it helps me help you and them and me and you, and we'll just transmute all of this together and figure this out, because it has been a very, 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 very interesting last few years. But I believe in this shift, I believe in this energy, and I believe in you, because I feel like you're really here to end this cycle, this old cycle. It doesn't need to exist in our new reality. It just doesn't. Like, just watch.